Bryant edition, the 24th episode of the Sports Take Podcast. My name is Johnny Redmond, and as usual, I'm joined alongside my three co-hosts. To my bottom, on the bottom right, is Mr. Joe Gentile. Joe, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you very much. And to my bottom left, we have Mr. Jonathan Donnelly, also known as Donnelly. How you doing today, Donnelly?
Awesome.
I didn't hear that.
I said awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh. That's the most unemphatic awesome I've ever heard. I'm good. To my
When
left.
you had us strangulating my head.
And to my left, we have Mr. Nicholas Odell, also known as Nick. How you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Johnny?
Doing well. If you notice a change of scenery, that's because I'm at Joe's apartment doing the show right now. Joe is in his second bedroom right now doing his show. How is it in there, Joe?
Oh, the weather's just fine. How's it over there, Johnny?
It's a little breezy.
Yeah. Backstory is you are over my place. We are still staying 6 feet apart, but we are watching the Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys game later on.
Yes, we are. I was just coming from Holyoke actually before this, so I figured I would just go over to Joe's instead of going back to my place to go over to Joe's place to go back to Westfield, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Mostly.
But in the meantime, we have a lot of sports to cover today. We have the trivia question of the day, very interesting trivia question of the day. Nick, whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right, so we're in the spirit of the holiday season, so I figured we go a little Christmas themed here. The longest NFL game in history took place on Christmas Day. Interestingly enough, how long was the game in terms of game time? So not by like the regular clock, like the standard clock, but the like game clock. So was it A, 82 minutes and 40 seconds, B, 75 minutes and 33 seconds, C, 73 minutes and 47 seconds, or D, 77 minutes and 2 seconds?
Oh, man.
So let's start with Joe Gentile. What's your guess?
All right, wait. I got the script right in front of me. I got to see these odd amount of times here. 82
You're
minutes.
gonna get it wrong.
40, 70. Yeah, I am going to get it wrong. 75 and 33, 73 and 47, 77 and 2. I don't know. I guess 77 and 2. I feel like it'd be some kind of weird number like that, like just slightly over a perfect minute mark. So I'm going to go D.
Donnelly?
I'm gonna go with B, the other one. 75 minutes and 33 seconds.
How about you, Johnny?
Okay, so I feel like first off, I know the normal overtime period is about 15 minutes, right? And then regulation is 60, which means I assume that this game went into double overtime, and I can't imagine a team scoring fairly early. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I feel like it's longer than 73, but I feel like they wouldn't score just into overtime or the second overtime. So I would probably go with A, 82 minutes and 40 seconds.
Joe Arvison thought it was C. So thank you, Joe, for chiming in. He's always a part of the viewing party. If you want to share the page, Joe, too, give you a shout out, or anyone else that anyone is seeing the show. But your comment is C. We'll post the trivia question along in the chat too. I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
Wants the answer.
Thank you very much, Joe, for commenting. If you do have any additional comments, anything you'd like to add to the show as we are discussing certain various topics, please feel free to add it. You might even get a shout out on the show.
Yep, absolutely. But we have a lot to talk about, boys. We just had a show. It feels like yesterday, but a lot's happened since we were last on the air.
Been a busy week.
Yeah.
Busy week, especially in fantasy football, huh, Nick?
And Joe.
Oh, I cannot wait for tonight's game, huh?
We have a lot riding on this game for fantasy football.
Yeah.
So let me explain the different scenarios right now. There are two different leagues that we're talking about. The first league, Joe is playing the Cowboys tight end, right? And the
Yes.
Cowboys tight end has to score 2 or less points in order for him to win and make the playoffs. Okay, is that correct, Joe?
Yes, I need. So the Dallas Cowboy Schultz, I believe is his last name. Dallas Cowboys tight end.
Yep.
He's on average for like 4 or 5 points this week. Hopefully it's a lot less because I need at least 2 or less. Even negative. Negative will help me out. But you, Johnny, and Nick are going head to head. That's where it's more interesting.
So the score, so let me provide some backstory to this. My record in fantasy football is 7-5 right now. There's another player who is also 7-5. Now, between us, I have scored the most points, and the most points scored throughout the season makes it to the playoffs. Okay? So, which means if I win this game, I move on.
Right.
He won his game, which means that I automatically have to win. If I lose, I'm out of the playoffs. I'm playing Mr. Nick Odell this week in fantasy football, right? So Nick has a very, very good Sunday. He has a 30, I believe it was 37-point lead moving into it, 36-point lead going into it.
I don't know. Josh Allen really.
Yes. I have Josh Allen yesterday. He gets me 44 points in fantasy football. So
That's
now
nice.
I am leading Nick 151 to 143. We both have one player left.
Close.
I have Ezekiel Elliott and he has J.K. Dobbins. So it all comes down to which player has the better week. It's close.
It's
See
close.
what happens. It
Nick,
should be a fun
either
game.
way, you ultimately lost, right?
How?
Well, Nick, you're not in the playoff running. You are out of both playoffs in both leagues.
But hey, I like
Like
to
usual.
play sometimes, you know.
You are playing spoiler. You are
I
playing
just want to remind you of that. You are right now. You're not even the Cleveland Browns right now.
which we
You're
will
not
talk
even playing
Browns.
spoiler.
We'll talk Browns as we get.
You're more
going.
like the Detroit Lions.
Oh my god. Before Stafford in 2008.
No. By the
Joe
way,
Iverson-
I want to note the reason that he's also the Detroit Lions is because he had Adrian Peterson, who got him 33 fantasy points this weekend.
True. Joe Arvison needs Zeke and Greg the Leg to not get 18 points. I don't know. That's gonna be
Yeah.
close.
Ooh, that's tough.
That's gonna be close.
That is really, really tough. The thing
But-
about our league, though, is everybody here except for Nick could win if Ezekiel Elliott gets a lot of touches, because we in our league that I'm in with Nick,
Yep.
we get 1 point per touch, right? So as long as he rushes a bunch of times, it doesn't matter if he gets, 20 or 30 yards.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Rule.
But anyways, let's move on to actual news.
Let's do it.
So first off, I want to mention the New England Patriots 45-0. Did you guys watch the game?
Of course.
No,
Yes.
I was at work all day.
So, I mean, huge blowout win for the Patriots. Kind of a statement if you ask me. I mean, do you guys think they'll make the playoffs?
Chargers are a bad team. I mean, they don't have a good head coach. Coach is probably going to get fired at the end of the year, and they're 3-9 when they arguably could be 9-3. But they just don't know how to close out a game. They don't know how to utilize Justin Herbert. And the Patriots played a solid game, offense, defense, and special teams. They had a best game of the year, arguably.
Yeah, it's
Well, go ahead, Nick.
yeah. I mean, to piggyback off of what Joe said. I mean, Justin Herbert looked bad. He looked like a typical rookie quarterback who struggles against a well-coached team. And so Justin Herbert just had a really bad game. And the Patriots, they're 6-6 and still hanging by a thread in the playoff picture. So we'll see what happens going forward for the Patriots. But it was a good quality win for the Patriots on Sunday.
I was going to say this is totally unlike Justin Herbert at all. He's been so well since his debut, and then he just has one game where, I mean, he got barely 200 yards, and I think he threw an interception.
Yeah,
or
I
two
mean,
interceptions.
the Pats knew how to contain him. They had a good game plan from start to finish. To win 45-0, you don't see a typical score like that. They had a good win. But you know who didn't have a good win was the Eagles. Sorry, Donnelly. What happened? They
Yeah,
go
what
from
happened?
they go from Carson Wentz to Jalen Hurts, and now Hurts is starting.
Well, I mean, what do you expect when someone's underperforming by a long shot for 11 straight games, and
Yeah.
you have a new guy that was a Heisman Trophy front runner. I mean, kind of makes sense. Nobody wants to see someone continually fail and not produce, even though he finally admits that he fails.
Right.
I mean,
Hurts looked good though. Second half.
he did.
Looked pretty good.
Still doesn't help that he has no protection and no one to throw to. But he did make good use of what he had. I mean,
Right.
he's not going to perform that much better than Wentz, solely for the fact of all the issues that the Eagles have.
The thing is, though, real quick, I mean, you throw in Hurts. The next opponent they have is the Saints, who are the number 1 seed. Is that fair to the rookie to throw him in the fire like that? I mean, to
I
face
mean,
the top team.
what are you going to do? Put Wentz in and lose terribly versus lose moderately?
Good way to look at it.
We're still going to lose. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat that one, but I mean, it's
So you're saying the real mistake was getting drafted by the Eagles?
exactly. I mean, it could be worse. He could have gotten drafted to like the Jets or somebody like that, where nothing would have come good out of it.
To be fair, you guys had a brutal two-week stretch with the Packers last week and then with the Saints this week. I mean, they're two of the best teams in the NFC. So
Speaking of
True. I mean, it's a good test for Hurts. I mean, I'm kind of excited just for the game, just to see how he plays against
Right.
a team that's top in the league.
Yeah, true. Go ahead, Johnny.
Speaking of the Packers, though, he set a milestone this week. He's the fastest quarterback to throw for 400 touchdowns.
It's impressive.
That's a lot.
Yeah, really impressive. I remember when Rodgers first came into the league. Replacing Brett Favre. The Packers went internally, and the Rodgers, and Rodgers became a household name for Green Bay, and the Packers didn't have to look anywhere else for quarterback. They had a future star right there, and look at where Rodgers is now, 400 touchdowns. It's quite impressive.
I was going to say, Nick, no, you don't, because he was benched for his first 3 years, which is also why it's that much more impressive that he's also the fastest quarterback to 400 passing touchdowns.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, he replaced Brett Favre, and the Packers didn't have to look anywhere else for a quarterback. They looked internally into Aaron Rodgers, who was the backup at the time for Brett Favre.
Yeah. Okay.
True.
But real quick, do you guys think he'll eventually get the NFL passing touchdown record?
He just turned 37. I mean, it depends. Is he going to have weapons to throw to, or still third, fourth, and fifth round wide receivers?
What is the record?
He never gets first and second rounders to throw to. And right now, Drew Brees and Tom Brady are chasing that record. But Brees has been out the past month, and Brady's been slacking the past month. Their team have lost 3 out of 4. So, I mean, he could catch it. Give him another 5 years in the league. 30 touchdown passes a year. It's 150 more. He'd be around 550, 600 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, which would probably shatter the record there, because I think the record's like
560.
Really? I thought it was 539.
No, it was. But then Brady and Brees keep breaking it.
Oh,
So
right.
They're going head to head right now. So really, it depends on. I agree with you, Joe. It really depends on how long they play for. I mean,
right.
If Brady stops playing, then he might have a chance. But if he keeps going, it's going to be tougher and tougher.
Keep adding to it. But I mean, it's a good question. It's a cool thing to look forward to if Rodgers can break it. But we'll see what happens. I mean, he's always been the top of his game. He's an MVP candidate this year. And I mean, after replacing a legend like Favre, he's definitely handled it pretty well in Titletown over in Green
Yeah.
Bay.
I will say, speaking at the top of their game, the Browns managed to beat the Tennessee Titans when nobody thought they were going to win this game at all.
Me,
I mean, what are your thoughts, Joe? You have something to say. Go ahead.
I didn't think they'd win. I admit I was wrong. They didn't. They impressed. They did. They were on the road. They almost choked. I do have to throw that in. They only won by 6 when they were up like 30 points, but they are 9-3. They are second in the AFC North, tough division over the years. Mayfield stepped up. They had a good game plan for Tennessee, which Tennessee is a top rank. They're 8-4. So I'll give credit where credit's due. Do I still believe in Cleveland? No, but I can give them credit for this week. But we'll see what they do next week and how they round out the rest of the season. Typically they choke, so they have another month. They could finish 9-7 and miss the playoffs. So we'll see what
At least
happens.
they have a winning record this year.
Yes,
Yeah,
first time in what?
first
13
time.
years.
Our first time since 2007, they had a winning.
Right. So, I mean, good for them. Congrats to them. They finally got something right. It only took them 13 years and a lot of first round picks, but they got it right.
Well, Joe, I have to disagree with you though a little bit. I mean, I'm not riding the Browns' coattail yet, but I think them playing Tennessee, they played their hardest opponent in my opinion. I mean, we'll get to Pittsburgh in a minute, but I mean, that's really their only challenge left.
They had a good win yesterday. Yesterday? 2 days ago? 2 days ago. They had a good win on Sunday, and they went on the road and finally beat a team that was good. I mean, you look at their schedule. They played Philly a few weeks back. They've played Cincinnati. I mean, they haven't had the toughest.
2 terrible teams. That's not really saying much.
Right. So let's see what they do. They're probably going to get in the playoffs. But my prediction is, with the lack of leadership and the lack of experience, they probably won't do much in the playoffs. And they will be continuing to be Cleveland.
Can they win one playoff game now? You think that's possible? Do you think they can win one playoff game?
Maybe. But then if they
I don't think they'll get any further, but
if they run into Kansas City, they will lose by 20 plus. let's just say that.
Well, like I said, I mean, they're really their only tough opponent left is Pittsburgh,
right? Who
just suffered their first loss of the year yesterday against the Washington football team. What do you guys think of that?
Listen, I am so.
It's not a shocker.
It's not like the Steelers are the most overrated. We're the most overrated 11-0 team, I think, in NFL history. And they finally lost. They finally lost to not only a good, not a good team, but a team without a team name. Seriously.
Or a team that just also really sucks
that
too.
From NFL memes.
Well, it's true. It's true. It's facts.
It was a good win. It was a good win by Washington. It was a solid win on the road at Heinz Field. Steelers, I do have to give them a little credit. The fact that they've had to reschedule games left and right all season and went 11-0, I give them credit for that. That's a credit to Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing season since he took over coach in Pittsburgh. So I give him credit where credit's due, but at the same time, to lose to Washington no-names at home, that's a bad loss to an NFC East team. I mean, look at Seattle. They had a bad loss to an NFC East team too in the Giants. But because we're talking Steelers, because they were undefeated, now the whole undefeated talk is over. Now it shifts over to the Jets. Will the Jets finish winless? Now there's a fun story.
Well,
absolutely.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know if you saw this, but the 72 Miami Dolphins were celebrating in their own regard. We see if you see Larry Zonka's Twitter handle or Twitter Twitter post. So, hey, the 72 Dolphins still the only team.
I hate how he does that every year. I hate how he does that.
Why?
He always celebrates at the end because I want it to be the Pats too, and it's not. It won't be ever. And we were 2 minutes away from being undefeated, but I digress. 2007 still hurts.
You know, I have a feeling he only posts on Twitter whenever all of the teams in the NFL have lost for that season. Like
Yeah.
if you look at his Twitter, it will say, 2019, right when what was the last team? The Ravens, I think, were the last team in 2019 to lose. Oh, the Ravens are down. We're still perfect.
Yeah,
You know?
he celebrates. He has a right to celebrate. He's the only NFL team he was a part of it to go undefeated. At the same time, he said he was a Washington fan in the post last night. And Washington, like Joe Arvison said in the comments, they have solid weapons, and they do, and they're still in the running for the NFC East. They still have a chance at 5-7 with Alex Smith, which is a great story, a fantastic story. He almost lost his life, lost a leg, had 17 surgeries, been out a couple years, and he's leading his team to maybe a playoff berth, which would be pretty cool.
That is amazing.
Oh, it would be.
I am rooting for the Washington football team
Yeah.
from here on in.
I just hope they get a name change soon. I can't keep calling them the football team. I
They're
can't.
going to be
They better next year.
The Washington Spaldings.
I heard Red Wolves. I wanted kind of Red Wolves. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
They had a sweet logo that the fans kind of put out different logos for it. It was a sweet looking wolf with like a monument in the middle because of Washington. Like, that's kind of cool. And they could keep the same colors and everything. But
It'd make more sense to make them the Washington footballs, though.
the footballs.
Yeah, the Washington Spaldings, like I said.
Just lose the team. They're the Washington footballs.
Oh my god.
That
The
would be
footballers.
that would be like even dumber than the Washington football team.
That's
Oh man. But they're a good story. We can all root for good stories.
Yes.
Except for the Jet story.
Here's a good story. We'll move on to college football now. Here's a really great story. We talked about the University of Buffalo last week winning the Mac East division because they did not play Ohio. Buffalo is now ranked for the first time in their history. They've never been ranked, not even in the Khalil Mack days. So what do you guys make of it?
Oh, it was good for them. Represent the MAC. Even when Khalil Mack was on the team, they weren't ranked. And Khalil Mack is arguably a top 5 defensive player in the NFL. So that's their biggest name to come out of Buffalo in a while. But to have them go up the ranks and be ranked and all that. But I don't want to talk Buffalo at the bottom because they don't have a chance at the playoffs. I want to talk playoffs because we're a couple weeks away from the rankings. It's getting really interesting up at the top.
So right now, Texas A&M and Clemson are the 4 and 5 teams. Both of them have lost to teams that are currently in the playoff hunt. My question to you guys is, of those 2 teams, which one do you think has the better case?
Between who? Clemson and who?
Texas A&M.
I think
I
Clemson.
want Texas A&M because I want to see something different for once.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way because here's the thing, guys. Clemson's been in the playoff for the last, I don't know,
5 years.
4 or 5 years. And Texas A&M, when was the last time they were this good? Probably has to be since like going back to the Johnny Manziel days, I would say. It just, I would say I'm hoping for Texas A&M. Who I think they're gonna put in is Clemson. That's my theory.
Okay, so I have Texas A&M, but I have them for a legitimate reason. Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
Probably be good.
Clemson lost to Notre Dame in double overtime in South Bend against the backup quarterback, right? A lot had to go right for Notre Dame to win this game, and even then they barely edged it out, right? Texas A&M went into Alabama. They have the worst loss, by the way. It was 42-24, but Texas went into Alabama, and they exposed Alabama, the number 1 team in the country, for what they were. People don't look at Alabama the same way right now, but people look at Texas A&M in a totally new light, right? I think Texas A&M should get in if they win out based on that merit alone. Plus, it would be nice to see, like you said, Donnelly, a different team make it into the college football playoff.
Because we always have the same 6 teams
Tired
in
of
the
seeing
playoff
Clemson.
every year.
Tired of it. It's
So annoying. So annoying.
I feel like Texas A&M is going to get the short end of the stick. They've been number 5 for weeks. 5, 6, 6, 5. They've been flipping back and forth. They haven't cracked the top 4 because it's Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Ohio State.
And they always have the toughest schedule. Every single year, they have always had the toughest schedule. and they
I-
still put up a fight.
I don't think they're going to get in though. I think without a shot at a conference championship game, when every other team around them does have the opportunity to prove themselves against a really good team on the other side, and if they win, they're in. You look at Clemson; if they beat Notre Dame in the ACC championship, they're in. It's just a matter of does Notre Dame fall out of the top four with a loss to Clemson. Florida plays Alabama. Okay, Alabama can lose to Florida and still make the top four, I think. Florida needs a win. Florida is the one I think that's really interesting. They're at like 6. And if they beat Alabama, they're in the top 4. And they knock out probably Ohio State. Which
Their
now
game
Ohio
got
State,
canceled, so which is another story. So how is that going to play into it when they can't even play a game now? That's going to probably make all the difference in this,
Exactly.
playoff picture.
I don't want Ohio State in the playoff if they don't even play in their conference championship. That's not fair to the rest of the programs that are top 10.
They didn't
That doesn't make
play
any
the first like 5 games either. So that makes it even worse.
Right.
Let's be honest, though. Was this game really going to make any difference? I mean, Ohio went into this game that was just canceled against Michigan as 30-point favorites, right?
Right.
Was it really going to make any difference? I mean,
Yes,
Not really.
No, the big difference is because of the fact that the Big Ten said at the beginning of the year, you need 6 games to be eligible for the Big Ten championship. They're 5-0 right now. So they needed that Michigan game, whether it's a win or a loss, to be even eligible for the Big Ten championship. I can't wait to hear the news that the Big Ten is going to reverse that when they have been stuck on that since August, September, whenever they reversed their season, saying they were going to play games, to 5 games to sneak Ohio State in. It's a money grab, and it's a name brand to have Ohio State in the playoff. The only way they get in the playoff is if they play in the Big Ten championship game. But they can't play in the Big Ten unless they play 6 games as of right now. So Michigan really screwed over Ohio State.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm okay with it.
Well, I like Ohio State, though. And that's the thing. And either way, I mean, you know who did win out of this? Jim Harbaugh. Because now he doesn't have to get his butt kicked against Ohio State. And it gave the more reason that he just signed this big contract that he got. I wouldn't say big.
You know what's funny, though, is that I was seeing stuff online that, who Ohio State's so Michigan was the one that canceled the game because of COVID.
Yeah.
Ohio State's like, hey, we're willing to play another game. Like, we want to play in obviously another game, Big Ten championship playoffs. That's their path.
Yeah.
You know who people were throwing out that they should play?
Alabama.
Texas A&M.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be an awesome game.
Let that be a quarterfinal game, because Texas A&M's waiting here like, come on, like, we want to play somebody. We want to increase our resume, and they can't because the SEC's done, and Florida and Alabama are going to meet in Atlanta.
That would settle everything in the college football playoff this year. That would be perfect.
That'd be the deciding factor. If Ohio State loses, then Texas A&M's in the playoffs.
You know why it's not
vice versa?
Because the Big Ten has already said they're only doing conference only. They're only keeping it in the region because of COVID, which makes sense. But at the same time, if they want a game badly enough, Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher's waiting down in Texas and be like, hey, we're ready. Like, come at us. We'll face you for a playoff spot. This is a quarterfinals matchup that it would be. So
it makes sense. So the NCAA wouldn't do it. That's pretty much what you're saying.
yeah,
They're not. It's highly unlikely.
It's not going to happen. It's would be nearly impossible. You look at all the other conferences, they were like, all right, ACC is only playing ACC, Big Ten, SEC, all conference only. The last week of the season, we'll tweak the rules so that way we get stuff figured out.
Or they're just going to throw in a team that is unranked, they're just going to blow out of the water just to have a game or just to have another win because they can. And that's how college football always runs. All the top teams play all the worst teams.
Yep.
So they get into the playoffs and make money and all that. And then
they should put in Chattanooga. Put in Chattanooga. Let them play them. It's a money grab. I mean, come on. It's like you said, it's going to be some no-name team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's going to care about them.
They're gonna play a team out of the Pioneer League.
Like, no offense to Chattanooga, I just picked a random team, but I feel like they always play like Alabama every year and lose by 50 every year. But
I would just
play
Jackson
UMass. That'd be a good game.
Their new-
UMass.
Oh my God.
That'd be a great game.
Yikes.
Stay in
More
Union.
money for UMass. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, especially at home.
Absolutely.
What
But-
home?
But it'll be interesting the next couple of weeks to see who wins the championship games and advance to the playoffs.
Absolutely. But in the meantime, let's go to another kicking sport. Let's talk a little bit about soccer.
Goal.
Yeah, Donnelly, I know you want to talk about soccer, so I'm going to let you go ahead and lead this entire section. Go ahead.
Well, some weird fact that I had seen is really insignificant, I think, of anything, but it's just kind of interesting that for the U.S. men's national team, it was the first time in 15 years that more than 3 different players scored a goal on the same day.
Wow.
Kind of an interesting little fact that really means nothing, but it's nice to see that players are playing internationally and not just the MLS, because
That's cool.
there's no competition there and we don't get good players out of that.
You know, I do want to.
Well,
I do want to point out though is that maybe this is like a cool factoid, I would say. With with what you just said, Donnelly. Maybe this is the preliminary thing where the U.S. MNT could make some noise in the World Cup. I don't know.
I mean, they have a lot of players in their 20s, which is, when you look back at all their World Cup playing since 1990, I think it was, their success was with a majority of their players in the 22 or 24 to 28 age range. So seeing as a majority of the players are within that or around that range, kind of a good outlook based on, their history.
Yeah.
But based on their play, it's pretty terrible. So we don't really know how well this is going to play out. But it's a good sign.
True, but I don't know what the big ramifications will mean. We talk national team, and the national team hasn't won the big stage in a while.
I mean, we didn't even make it to the World Cup last time.
Right. So they got a lot of work to do still.
they haven't even been on the surface, really. I mean, they didn't even make the World Cup in 2018.
Right.
Exactly.
No. Yeah.
Let's see if they even make it in Qatar in 2022. I mean, it's not like they're a bad team, but can they really compete with the likes of Argentina, with the likes of Portugal, Spain, Germany?
I mean, they're
England?
complaining about trying to beat Ghana, which, no offense to them, but they're not, Portugal or Spain or, any of the other big teams. So when they're talking about like, oh my God, we finally beat this team, it's like, okay, well, that's great. Can you beat somebody else that's actually good?
Right.
Brazil winning 7-1 against Germany.
Jeez.
Just another day in the office, right?
Exactly.
Anyways, I want to make a quick note to something that Nick said earlier. I mean, of course they're not going to play in MLS. I mean, MLS is trying to grow in popularity for a long, long time now, but the Premier League blows them out. La Liga blows them out. Even the Bundesliga blowing MLS out of the water. So thank goodness that good American players are playing in like the Premier League and in Bundesliga and La Liga. I mean, that's great. I'm so happy for them.
Oh, absolutely.
If you want to make MLS grow as an organization, you're going to have to take these international players and then put them in Major League Soccer.
And they started to, but it's just been a terrible ride with players past their prime. So it's like, oh, cool, we get this big name player, but now he sucks. So it's like, only thing it does is just bring attendance up to games, but it really doesn't make it any better. Yeah,
they're gonna have to spend $50 million to get players like Cristiano Ronaldo over here past their prime, and then they're not going to get any payoff for it.
No,
True.
And they tried the same thing with David Beckham. Didn't really work.
No, very true.
Yeah.
But I do want to move on to the Revolution. I wore their team last week. I wore the team on my hat for the show, and they lost 1-0. So typical Revs fashion, they get us excited, and they lose at the end.
No MLS Cup this year.
Nope.
And we had a chance. We had a good opportunity. Oh, we were so close to the Cup final.
Good opportunity.
Well,
Yeah.
we had a good run, and then it came abruptly to an end. 1-0. We couldn't score one goal, make it competitive. Extra time. Come on, do something.
You know who is in the MLS Cup though? Seattle. Again.
Again, man, Seattle's always in it.
Yeah.
They had a
What
big
a-
win over Columbus. I mean, it's no surprise.
Yeah,
They weren't even a team 10 years ago, and yet they're competing every single year. It's amazing.
and they have arguably the best fans in MLS too. The crowd. I know they don't have fans this year, but every other year they are filled. The whole stadium is just packed.
It
So
helps.
is Atlanta. They sell out the the Georgia Dome? Is that what it's called, or the Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, they sell that out, and that's like 70 or 80,000 capacity. They were selling out last year before all this happened. So I mean,
That's crazy.
popularity-wise, at games is getting pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right. When we talk soccer,
Yeah. So I think it's time to go ahead and move on to college basketball real quick. I think
oh yeah,
for time's sake, we're going to go ahead and end it there. So
Yeah.
let's talk about college basketball. Michigan State going up in the rankings after beating Duke.
wait, Johnny, what was that?
You have Michigan State going up in the rankings after beating Duke.
Oh, I love that.
That's
I
okay.
know, it's so great.
You're playing
So
tonight.
great to hear.
They're playing against Illinois.
So,
Let's go, Duke.
They're still gonna lose.
Let's go. Not Owls. Go, Duke.
you got the blue on, so I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, Illinois, we talked about this last week, but Illinois lost to Baylor. I mean, if Duke beats Illinois, would it really make that much of a difference?
Yeah, I mean, Illinois is a top 5 team. I mean, Illinois, nobody's talking about. I would, UNC tonight is also playing Iowa. Iowa's a great team. These teams, you have the typical blue bloods. You have Kentucky, you have UNC, you have Duke. You have these typical teams that are not getting off to good starts. Kentucky has lost 2 out of 3, and one of them was to Georgia Tech. I hope
They lost to Georgia Tech. Exactly. Not a good.
That was a huge blow.
That
that
was
was
by like 2 points. I think it was by 10.
that's a bad loss.
It was
That's
awful.
a terrible loss.
The
Yeah.
Georgia Tech. Nick, when was the last time Georgia Tech was good?
In college basketball, you have to go back to the mid 2000s when they faced UConn in the NCAA tournament and lost.
There you go.
2004, 2005, something like that, around ish.
The Chris Bosh days, right around there.
Probably, most likely, yes.
Yeah. I mean, so Kentucky is slacking. I know it's early in the season. We can say a bunch of teams have had bad losses. There's still 3 months of the season to go, so we can't be like, "Oh, Kentucky's dead. Duke is done." We can't obviously get to those conclusions yet, but at the same time, we'll see. We'll see what happens, though.
I mean, there's always craziness in college basketball too. I mean, it's kind of like the same way for college football, where one team beats another team, and then that team beats another team, and then another team beats another team that's not supposed to be good, and then they lose to a really bad team, and then it's just everybody's trying to figure out where each team goes. I mean, it's all craziness. Every
No,
year.
exactly. It's gonna be a good season though going forward. So we'll see what happens. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. So we're looking at you saw the comments, Charlie.
Yep.
What are the comments? What are the comments? Go ahead.
I couldn't do it. Live TV. I couldn't do it. Oh, let's move on.
I'll go ahead and look at the comments real quick. I do want to mention one random thing. Mayweather's supposed to fight Logan Paul. Mayweather's going to kick his butt.
God. Oh my God. All right. What is
Nope.
that?
Wow.
Nope.
We need to switch gears. We're doing pickup. I want to get to pickup. I gotta switch.
This.
I gotta switch over. All right. Week 14.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
Oh, I couldn't hold
Who
it.
is that?
I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
So
Well,
we're
thank
moving
you for
on.
watching the show. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Oh, so we got spammed apparently in our live show. But week 14 of the NFL season. Oh my god.
Let's do pick 'em. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's switch topics. First game, week 14. Patriots Rams. Oh, Nick, go ahead.
I just saw that comment too, and I was like, you know what, that's a little bit out there, but I'll take the I'll take the Patriots. They've been sort of hot. So give me the Patriots over the Rams. Yeah, it's
I got the Patriots. I'm gonna take it seriously. I just need it a minute. I got the Patriots. Oh my eyes. I got Pats. I got Pats with the upset. Apparently the Rams are very much favored. Oh, my eyes hurt from crying. The Rams are very much favored. They have a good win on Arizona this past week, but and the Rams need a win too. They're on top of the NFC West. Oh, I'm gonna gather myself. Patriots, I think, with the upset, they haven't given up a point in SoFi Stadium because they shut out the Chargers 45-0. I'll go. Oh, I'll go Pats. Who do you guys got?
I'm gonna take the Rams on this one. I'll be the different one. Johnny, what's your pick?
I'm going with the Pats.
Okay.
We have a lot of questions after the show. Anyway, so we're split. Are we split?
No, just me with the Rams. Everyone else got New England.
Shocker, you're on an island just like you are with the Eagles
I know.
for this show. All right, moving on. Houston at Chicago.
What kind of game is that?
I don't know. I don't know what had just happened. Nobody accept this friend request. Houston at Chicago.
give me. You know what? The Bears have to win a game, right? They've lost.
They don't have to. They can still suck.
No, but the Bears. I feel bad for the Bears. I'm going with the Bears.
Just because you feel bad doesn't mean that they're gonna win.
Hey, the Bears they started out the season 5-1. They've lost 5 straight. They have to win a game. They just have to. Give me the Bears.
I'm not going with the Bears.
I'll go Bears. They got to get it right at some point.
That's what I'm saying.
They've lost 6 straight.
5. No.
They haven't won in over a month, so it's either 5 or 6. But I think Chicago at home. Houston almost upset the Colts last week, but they fumbled at the goal line and lost 26-20. But I'll go Chicago.
I think I'm going to go with Houston for that exact reason, though. I mean, they came so close last week. You do bring up a good point that Chicago has lost 6 straight, but New York has lost 11 straight, and they still haven't won.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't believe it yet. Give me the Texans.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm gonna take the Texans as well.
Okay. So next matchup is the Dallas Cowboys at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got to go Cowboys myself.
I hope if Zeke does well tonight, I'll root for the Cowboys for the rest of the year.
I just wish I could have seen Dallas this week play before making these picks, but I don't really believe in Cincinnati at all. I still think I think Dallas at least has some, semblance of a team over them.
Right.
All right. So next game.
Kansas City at Miami.
Give me the Chiefs.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Give me Miami in this one.
Yeah. Wait, you got Miami over KC? Really?
Here's the thing, though. It's in Miami. right? And Miami, I think, needs a win to solidify itself as a team to be taken seriously, right?
Yeah.
So I
Um,
think for that reason, you have to go with Miami here. I mean, KC, you have to remember that KC is still a vulnerable team, right?
right.
So I'm gonna go with them.
I got to go KC. It's hard because Miami has momentum. Miami is looking for a playoff spot, but they have a tough schedule down the stretch. So I guess I'll go KC though. I think I got Patrick Mahomes winning in Miami, second time this year, and the first time since the Super Bowl back in February.
I think I'm also going to go with KC as well. I don't think Miami is going to play well enough against them. I don't think that their previous schedule was difficult enough for them to show that they can beat Kansas City.
Right. Okay. Next, we got Arizona at the Giants.
Nick, did you
Wait,
say?
Nick-
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Nick. You've stayed quiet.
Yeah.
KC at Miami.
I already said the Chiefs earlier.
Chiefs.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Okay. Next up, Arizona at the Giants. Actually, kind of a good matchup. Because
Surprisingly, after this past weekend,
New York's doing good.
is it good enough though?
Arizona coming out east. I think I got the Giants.
You know, I'm gonna go with the Giants too.
I'm going to
Giants
go
are
with
good.
Arizona.
Okay. And Nick,
Arizona and who? I'm sorry, Giants.
the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the Cardinals here. They
Okay. So we're split.
probably have to be back on this. They have to be back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a sure thing anymore in the NFL. We've learned that because
Or any sport for this matter.
true,
Right.
very true.
Next up, Minnesota at Tampa Bay. So both teams are in the playoff picture right now. They're fighting for playoff seeding.
Give me Minnesota.
Ooh, on the road at Tampa Brady, huh?
I don't care if it's on the road against Tom Brady. That doesn't matter to me. I'm still gonna go with Minnesota.
I'm
What do you got,
thinking
Nick?
Tampa.
You know, I'm going with Minnesota. They've been red hot.
Wow. I'll make it a split. I'll go Tampa. Tampa's lost 3 out of 4. They got to get something right, and they just had a bye week last week. So next up, Denver Broncos at Carolina Panthers.
Mm,
Let me get.
I think I'm going to have to go with Carolina.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let me go with the Carolina Panthers. I mean, have you guys heard anything about Christian McCaffrey? Is he supposed to be coming back
I
anytime
haven't
soon?
heard much.
I thought I saw something where he's coming back this week.
Is he?
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I think I saw something about that. I might be wrong, but
if
Well, that
he
makes it a
pairs
little
up with
bit
Mike
easier then.
Davis,
Yeah,
and then you get Robbie Anderson in there. Oh my God.
yeah. Plus, Carolina's coming off a bye week, so I'm taking Carolina as well.
that's true. Carolina and Tampa were the 2 teams last week with a bye. I guess I'll go Carolina at home. Broncos put up a good fight though in Kansas City.
Yeah.
They show fight.
Which is another reason I'm going against KC this week too.
Momentum.
Absolutely.
Next up, Tennessee at Jacksonville. Can we all agree on this one?
1, 2, 3.
Titans.
Jacksonville.
Titans.
kidding.
We all got Titans.
Lions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you. Shout out to you. I got the schedule up in front of me, but I keep going back and forth to the comments, but I know you're playing along too. So thank you for your input as well. He's been on board with basically all of our picks for what I can see. He picked the Rams. I know some of us picked the Rams. Texans, he picked over Chicago. Actually, Texans have momentum. They've been scrappy the past few weeks. He was on Dallas and KC, Arizona, Minnesota, Panthers, Titans. So those are his picks up to the point. We're all on the Titans, it sounds like. So next up is Indy at Las Vegas. Good game.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go with Indy here,
Okay.
just because I don't know if there's any word on Josh Jacobs, but I'm assuming he doesn't play, and I think it's gonna hurt Las Vegas just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they have Darren Waller giving me 32 fantasy points, I got to go with the Raiders.
You think he's going to score 32 fantasy points every single week, Nick?
No, I just like to hope so in my mind. But hey, you know what? The Raiders need like, some like, sort of like revenge because they barely beat a Jets team. They need that chip on their shoulder. So
Not Nick.
I'll go Raiders, but I can see Indy winning this game. It's good. It's a toss-up game.
I'm also going to go with the Raiders on this one.
Good.
Johnny on Island.
All right. Let's go. New York Jets. Jeez. New York Jets at Seattle Seahawks.
1, 2, 3.
Seattle.
What? Yep.
That took almost
Seattle
fun.
for that one.
Seahawks.
The poor Jets. They had a win last week. They had it.
They
and
fired
then
the
they-
defensive coordinator too.
And then they pulled the Jets and they lost. So
Shame.
next up, Green Bay at Detroit.
Give me
Packers.
Green Bay here.
Green Bay.
Packers.
I think we're all going Packers.
Yeah. Lions. They had a good win on the road after firing Patricia, but I don't think against Aaron Rodgers. Next up, oh boy, Saints at Eagles.
Give me
Give
who dat? Saints.
Saints.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's Saints. Let's
Just like Charles said, Saints over my Eagles all
Yeah.
day.
Saints are red hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's hard to ignore it.
It's hard to go against the Saints.
Yeah.
And
So
just
on the
because
Saints.
we're bringing in a new quarterback really doesn't mean anything.
Even without Michael Thomas, even without Drew Brees, with Taysom Hill, they've still been a very formidable team. They're
Yeah.
scary.
Next up, Atlanta Falcons at the LA Chargers.
I don't know about
This
this
is
one.
kind of a toss-up.
I think I'll have to go with the Chargers. Justin Herbert needs a comeback game.
Yeah. He's still been playing really well, but I don't know if he's going to play well enough to squeak by the Atlanta Falcons.
You got Falcons?
You know what? I'll still go with the Chargers, but it's going to be really close.
Okay.
2 points.
I'll go Chargers. They got to rebound from 45-0. They got to put some points up this week, don't they?
I'm going to go with Atlanta on this one.
Peace up,
Okay.
A-Town.
Next, Washington football team at San Francisco, which this game is in Arizona, 49ers.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You always do.
Give me the football team, baby.
There it is.
They just beat Pittsburgh last week.
It did.
And San Fran just lost. So
Yeah.
it's quite possible, actually.
I'll take the football team too.
Give me the football team.
We all going for Washington?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, who do you got? Alex Smith or Nick Mullins?
Yeah.
Not really counting on Mullins to do much.
Yeah. Next up, arguably the matchup of the week, Sunday night football, Steelers at Bills.
Ooh. Give me the Bills for this one.
Yeah, give me the Bills as well.
I don't see Pittsburgh losing 2 straight. I actually got Steelers.
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, so we're split.
Yeah.
And
I gotta be honest. No matter what, even if Pittsburgh had beat Washington, I still probably would have gone with the Bills anyways.
Yeah. So this is crazy though. This is such a 2020 thing actually. So you have Buffalo Bills hosting Sunday night football, prime time. Then Monday night football, you have the Cleveland Browns hosting the Baltimore Ravens.
Which actually isn't a bad game.
No,
For
it's
one.
decent. It's
You know
decent.
what? Give
First time
me the
saying
Browns.
Cleveland on Monday night not being a bad game is actually something.
I know.
I will say this, by the way. Yesterday, the Buffalo Bills win was the first time in 21 years
Wow.
that the Bills have won on Monday Night Football.
nuts.
That's crazy.
That's
Crazy.
crazy. That's a long time coming. So Baltimore or Cleveland.
Is Jackson back playing for Baltimore?
I think he would be. I think he'd be back.
Yep. So he just got activated off the COVID reserve list, but 6 other players are still on it. I don't know who those 6 players are, but it's the first time since November 25th that they had less than 10 players on the COVID reserve list.
Wow.
Give me-
I don't know. This one's difficult.
You know what's funny is that all the crap I've given Cleveland, I'm actually rooting for Cleveland in this game because it'll make Baltimore lose and help us in the wild card. So Nick, I think I'm picking your Brownies this week.
Yes.
I think I'm picking Cleveland.
You know what, Joe? For the first time in our friendship, we are going to both pick the Cleveland Browns.
Such a 2020 thing to do. This year's almost over.
What are you doing, Johnny?
I will say this. I'm not, like I said, I'm happy for the Browns, but I'm not going to ride the train. Don't ride the train like you've been following them for 20 years. All right.
I haven't been following the Browns for 20 years, dude.
But you come off as you have been. Love you,
Anyway, who do we got? Are we all on Cleveland?
yes. Assuming Donnelly goes for Cleveland too.
Yeah, I'll go for Cleveland.
Wow.
Wow. Unanimous on the Browns for the first time in the show's history, in the show's short-lived history.
I want to pick Ravens just because Nick said that, but I'm gonna stick with it. So we're that's all the games. That's actually 16 games. Nobody's on a bye week. Bye weeks are done.
I know.
Yeah.
Do we want to hear the updated scores real quick before we move on?
Yeah, I was only trailing you by a game. I want to know if I moved up or
No,
further
we were
back.
tied last time, remember?
Oh, that's right. I got the extra point. I kicked the PAT at the end. So
Because I forgot to account for the last game of the week.
right. Thank you for
So
laughing,
now-
Johnny. I appreciate that. So all right, what are the standings?
Yeah, what are the standings on?
So still in last place is Johnny, who still has not broken the 70 mark and is still at 69. And picking it under 500 for the season.
Okay.
While the rest of us are over 500 for the season.
All right.
However, Nick and Joe are still tied at 78.
It's worse than losing.
And I'm still winning at 79.
Wow, that's close.
I'm
Bracket.
approaching a passing grade for this season of picking with
You guys
a
just wait. One of these
56.
One of these weeks,
Correct.
I'm gonna go 15-0, and I'm gonna demolish you guys. I'm gonna be closer.
Hey, some breaking news into
I
the
was
show.
just about to say that.
Yeah, we got the top 4 revealed for college football. Anybody want to guess?
Alabama,
Hasn't changed.
Notre Dame, Ohio State, Clemson.
So
Yep.
switch 3 and 4, but you are correct with the 4 teams. So Alabama 1, Notre Dame is 2, Clemson is 3, Ohio State is 4.
Clemson is 3.
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
kidding me?
So and 5 is Texas A&M and 6 is Florida. So really nothing changed.
No. Did you really expect anything to change though?
That's so ridiculous.
No. Probably nothing will change, but I would think Ohio State not playing this upcoming week,
Will
that's
change
gotta
it.
hurt them at some point. I mean,
Ohio
Not
State, Texas
playing.
A&M.
That's so ridiculous.
play Texas A&M. We can all get behind that. That'd be a good
Yeah.
game. Because there is a big, humongous Tuesday night football game with fantasy football implications. I think we're going to skip brackets for this week. I believe we will go to final thoughts.
Or no, trivia answer.
Nick, that's right. You have the trivia answer. And again, my answer was D. Joe Arvison picked C. Donnelly, what did you pick?
I picked B.
And Johnny, what did you pick?
I have to scroll back up. I picked A.
So we
All right.
are all one of each.
So let me repeat the question. The longest NFL game in history took place on Christmas Day. How long was the game in terms of game time? Not regular time, but game time. The correct answer is A, 82 minutes and 40 seconds.
Wait. Oh, I didn't pick that.
So Johnny, you are correct.
Was it double overtime? What was it?
It was double overtime. It was a game between the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs in 1972.
But why did they go into double
1971,
overtime?
excuse me. What?
Why did they go into double overtime? They still had ties back then, didn't they?
No, they didn't. Non-playoffs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh, it was a playoff game.
Yeah, it was a playoff game.
Yeah, Christmas Day.
So
Yo,
I gotta look.
71 AFC divisional playoff game between the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Now, it was won on a late field goal by the Miami Dolphins kicker, and I can tell you his name right now. It's an interesting name. Ready? Ready for this?
Tom Brady.
Rob Gronkowski.
His name is Garo Yepremian. Whoever that is.
That's my favorite kicker of all time.
He kicked.
Draft him in fantasy, folks.
He made the walk-off 37-yard field goal after 7 minutes and 40 seconds of the second overtime.
I gotta look with these trivia questions. I gotta look back on the tape, all the previous videos. I don't think I've gotten one trivia question right. I suck at it.
You're pretty terrible at this
Or
trivia.
I am bad at trivia.
Pick them though. I nail in trivia questions.
All right, so we're switched. Johnny's good at trivia. I am good at pick'em.
But not good enough to win.
I am still trailing, but we got 4 weeks left in the season. Joe Iverson, I know we got an hour. I know brackets. You want brackets. I hate to disappoint the fans. Nick, you were going to drive over to my place because that's why Johnny's in my living room, for the Cowboys and Ravens game. But I guess we can do one quick. How about this? One quick bracket. We won't do a minute each. We'll do 30 seconds each. How about that? We'll do quick brackets.
That works for me. Instead of doing third place and championship, though, you guys just want to have regular brackets.
Yeah, let's just exhibition bracket.
Actually,
We'll just do
we'll
the
still
one
do
question each.
championship, but we won't do third place. How about that?
Okay, so we'll do the two matchups and then the championship game.
That works.
Yep. No one really loses. Only someone wins.
Yes.
And we can all have final thoughts this week. That works.
Exactly.
Okay, me and Donnelly's up first.
So,
All right.
Donnelly and Joe, you have 30 seconds, and your question is
Nick, are you keeping
Assuming-
track of time?
Sure, yeah, I can do that.
assuming that the Philadelphia Eagles get that $59 million in dead cap space next year, who should the Philadelphia Eagles pick up with all of their dead cap space?
I'll let the Eagles fan go first.
Yes.
All right, so Donald, your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, this is not an obvious answer. However, the answer that I will give is they need a receiving core because nobody can catch. But at the same time, they also need someone or multiple people on their offensive line so they can give whoever's behind the line a chance to throw. And so I would say both a wide receiver and somebody on the offensive line will do them good.
Good.
All right.
That was 30 seconds. Well done, Donnelly. All right,
Yep.
Joe, your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
So if I lose this argument, I just want to say, first off, based on the fact I'm a debating a Eagles fan, I think I will probably lose this one. But I'm going to give it my best effort. I think they should sign a quarterback. I think they should go after either Matthew Stafford, a veteran. If Hurts does not pan out, I think Wentz might be done. They go after a veteran. They can get Matthew Stafford. If they want to go young, Sam Darnold. If they even want, draft a quarterback in the draft, late in the draft. But overall, I think quarterback.
Well
Wait a
done.
minute.
Everybody's
30 seconds.
on. Everybody's on time.
That's a quick 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. That was fast.
Nick, why don't you go ahead and give your first votes?
All right, both really solid arguments. It's really tough, but again, I think Joe admittedly said that the advantage goes to the Eagles fan. I would say Donnelly 3, Joe 2.
I held my own.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Think it's-
So, just for the sake of time, I don't want to have any tiebreakers. Donnelly, I agree with your point the most. However, as an Eagles fan, you didn't mention a single name. You didn't mention anybody.
I
Joe,
had 30
you're
seconds.
not even an Eagles fan, and you backed up your point with the position and big names, realistic names that they can go after. Joe, I'm giving you a 5. Donnelly, I'm giving you a 3.
Go.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Wow. What a turn of events that was. Okay. Next question for me and
All right. All right, Nick and Johnny, you're up. I will read the question. Donnelly, you want to do time?
Not really, but okay.
All right.
Um,
Good cooperation. Your question. What should the Celtics do if there is no G League this year? What should the Celtics do? No G League. Who wants to go first?
I'll defer
Nick
to
does.
John.
Johnny, you're up first. Your time begins in
Now.
3, 2, 1.
So there have been ideas of expanding the roster. I don't think that's really a good idea because the guys at the bottom aren't going to get any training time. Instead, what I think they should do is do what football does and do practice squads, right? Have the players there, keep them all safe, practicing with each other. And then if you want to move a player up for like a specific game, you can move a player for a specific game. Move a player back down to the practice squad if you don't want to have them. That way, every player is kind of like a two-way player. And I think that would be the most sense. So it made the most logical.
You're done.
All right, Nick, you're up next.
I'll do my best.
Good. Let him know when your time starts.
1, go.
Well, Johnny, you brought up some good points there, and most of it I agree with. I had the thought of since there's no G League, with the G League sort of like the minor leagues of the NBA. They should do they should just stick with the players of the players like the current players of the NBA. I think expanding the rosters might help. So
Done.
Okay. Good arguments, boys. Donnelly, you want to go first?
Sure. I'll give Nick a 1 and Johnny a 4. Nick, you took too long to get to your point, so you had about 5 seconds to talk about it.
dude, this is a
I
soft.
kind of like your idea, but I didn't hear much. And
I was waiting for
Johnny,
you got to 10 seconds, and I was like, is he going to make a point? Okay, what?
that's what I was thinking. I was watching the clock. I was like, oh boy.
30 seconds.
But
Quick, man.
So 4 and a
I
1.
know.
Oh my gosh.
But Johnny, good points. I liked it. I actually really think that's a pretty good idea. Never would have thought of that myself, but yeah. So
So what were your
4 and
scores?
1.
4
4
and
and
1.
1.
Okay. Good arguments, guys. Johnny, you went over your time a little bit. That's a deduction. And I think, though, overall, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't feeling the passion in your argument. I wasn't feeling. So I'll give you a 1. But you would have had a 2 if you were under time. Nick, well done. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. They gave you crap about how you started your argument. You finished strong. Give you a 5.
What?
What?
Yep.
What is this?
Yep. Nick with the upset.
What is with the bias against me?
Not biased. You went over for time.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, you did by a couple seconds.
Oh, boo. I just said instead of saying Sen Squad, I just made it logical. Boo. Boo.
You've done that to me, I'm sure. Check the tape.
Boo.
Check the
All right,
tape.
Roger Goodell over here. Boo.
I think it's time for some final thoughts, boys.
You want to do championship? We got to have a winner.
No, you suck.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, we can do championship. All right, guys. Let's see.
Wait a minute. I just saw the 3rd place game. I do want to know your guys, especially now that it's the Johns. I want to know this question.
Okay, fine. We'll do a 3rd place game.
Yes!
Does that-
No, we
Real-
don't need to do a 3rd
There's
place.
no
game.
mute. There's no mute this week. We're feeling good. It's a season of giving. We won't give you. How about that?
All right, real quick, 30 seconds for the Johns. Who's going to go first?
Nick, you
Johnny
keep time.
can go.
Yeah, I'll keep time.
Johnny, your question, and people at home chime in. Mike Drew, they don't teach that at Duke. Well played. That's funny. Johnny, your question, 3rd place game, debating Donnelly is which Christmas dessert is the best dessert? What is the best Christmas dessert? Each
All right,
week we'll
all
try
right.
to related question. Johnny is starting as time begins.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Figgy pudding. It's in a song. You know, figgy pudding. Figgy pudding. If you guys ever had figgy pudding, it's delicious. Figgy pudding. Don't look at me like that. Figgy pudding. Figgy pudding. What, Joe? What is your problem with me this week?
You're just saying figgy pudding. I'm waiting for a rebuttal. I'm waiting for a reason.
Okay, that's time. That's time.
Figgy pudding. It's in a song.
That's your reason. That's your reason. And it's a song.
It's a Merry Christmas. It's in the song.
Oh my God, figgy pudding. Oh, I wish there was a mute this week. All right, Donnelly, you're up.
Dolly, you have to have. Oh my God. All right.
Donnelly, wait. I want to say one quick thing. Donnelly could say anything, and he's going to win this argument. All right, go ahead.
Dolly starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
My choice is apple pie because it's what I have every single year. My mom's homemade apple pie. It's the best out there. And I have it for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it doesn't matter what it's associated with. It's still the best Christmas dessert out there by far.
Is
You
that
could
it?
talk another 30 seconds, and I'll still give you a 5.
All right. We all know who won this one. I'll give my
Mike Drew, I think Johnny's brain is figgy pudding.
figgy pudding.
Mike Drew.
The song
Yeah.
is your favorite dessert. Johnny, have you ever had figgy pudding?
Yes, I have had figgy pudding.
Really?
Also, Joe Arvison said, Joe Arvison, automatic loss. Figgy pudding is the worst, absolute worst. And Mike Drew, Johnny's brain is figgy pudding. Joe Arvison, sugar cookies with the designs. That's a solid one.
What about chocolate chip cookies that you leave out for Santa?
Now you make that argument. Now instead of figgy pudding, you would have had it maybe if you started with that.
All right. So, Joe, are we unanimous that Donnelly won?
Yeah,
Oh.
it doesn't even matter the score.
Doesn't even matter the score. Donnelly, you are the champion. You get to choose the order of final thoughts.
Wait, that was third place.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
You forgot that you won.
Oh man.
All right.
Donnie, keep track of time.
All right. So it's Joe and Nick for the championship.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, you guys have 30 seconds.
What's the question?
Who will have more success, Wizards or Rockets?
After you,
And
Nick.
that's talking about this year.
This year.
This year, yes.
What, this
Yes.
upcoming year? Okay. And I start?
30 seconds. 3, 2. Wait, who's going first?
Nick.
I'll go first.
Good for you. 3, 2, 1. Your time has started.
Oh, so I'll have to say the more success between the Wizards and Rockets. I would have to say the Wizards actually, because they just picked up a key player on Russell Westbrook. Rockets are, just hindering on these steps of James Harden, whether he's going to come back or not. And it's just it's a mess down in Houston. I think Wizards with Russell Westbrook, they will actually do better than the Rockets this year. That's it, Johnny.
Okay.
Okay.
Joe, your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
So I'll play devil's advocate for the sake of argument. I'll go Houston Rockets based on the fact that they do have an MVP caliber player in James Harden as of right now on the team. He can put up 40 a game at least. John Wall, I think, has something in the tank. I know he's been hurt the past couple of years, but I think John Wall, along with James Harden, it could be a very dangerous duo down in Houston. And I know the West is tough, but I think they can compete. And we'll see what happens, but I think Houston. I didn't like my ending on that one.
Uh,
I like the ringtone, Johnny, on that.
Don't patronize me. All right. So Donnelly, go ahead.
It's a really tough one, but I'm gonna go with Nick 4 and Joe 3.
Oof.
Okay. I didn't hear Nick. I really didn't. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I didn't hear you mention Bradley Beal. I would have liked to hear a little bit more about Bradley Beal, considering he is the
true.
number 2 guy in Washington, and that was most of your argument that they're getting a big name.
True.
They already have a big name down there.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal. Figgy Pudding Bradley Beal. Joe, the thing is, I disagree with you. The West is tough, right? And you are right. John Wall is injured, but also James Harden is not acting mature at all, which leads me to believe that he really doesn't take winning very seriously. So John Wall could have the best season of his life, but James Harden, I think he's going to suffer a little bit. And I think he's ultimately going to fall short, and he's going to cry about it, and he's going to want to get another superstar, but they're going to be too good, and the whole cycle continues, right? So I give you both a 2.
Nick wins.
And then I get to choose the order of final thoughts.
Enjoy your
Close.
figgy pudding.
close.
The order of final thoughts goes like this. So I'm going to say Johnny first,
Okay.
Donnelly second, Joe third, and then I'll go last.
So the order of how we lost in brackets.
Yeah.
Okay. My first final thought is let's go Zeke. Do not disappoint me. J.K. Dobbins. Please let Mark Ingram get all of the carries tonight.
He might.
Every single carry tonight. My second one is happy birthday to Larry Bird. He had his 64th birthday yesterday. Larry Legend, Mr. Indiana State. Happy birthday, Larry Bird.
All right.
Donnelly?
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, and I'm gonna light it up for this one.
Ooh.
I'm excited, very, very excited to see our backup come in and replace our terrible starting quarterback. And maybe there's a smidge chance, like a 1% chance, that the Eagles beat the Saints. 1%, just a smidge. It's not going to happen, but like in Dumb and Dumber, there's still a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Exactly.
All right.
So that's my final thought.
Okay. For my final thought, I'm wearing the Bruins hat for a reason. We didn't talk hockey, but there was big hockey news today that the NHL is aiming for a 52 or 56 game regular season starting mid-January. I'm
They said
excited.
January 13th.
Yes. So they have to work out the kinks. A lot of teams are trying to play outdoors, like Bruins. They wouldn't play in the Garden. They would play at Fenway, which would be amazing.
Be cool.
That would be, Flyers. I'm sure Flyers are even in discussion too about playing outdoors, maybe at Lincoln Financial Field.
Perfect
That'd be
spot.
cool. What?
It's a perfect spot.
Yeah. I mean, aren't the 3 stadiums like right next to each other?
Yeah, they all share the same parking lots.
Right. So it's not a long commute. They can still get ready in their own locker rooms and just walk over or something, get a bus. So I think I'm excited for the Bruins. The fact that there's news about the NHL season, because there was some skepticism that the season may not happen, just based on union side and money and all that.
Yeah.
But January 13th, 52, 56, whatever the amount of games, I'm excited. And it'll be good to see. And hopefully some outdoor hockey too would be really cool. So that's my final thought.
Yeah, the day of the NHL starting up potentially will be the day after my birthday, my 29th birthday, which is January 12th.
That's very true.
Anyhow, so yes, you just going to say something, Johnny, real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first thought is that, hey, Johnny, did you know they used to call me Larry Bird in middle school? Whenever I played basketball?
Why?
Think about it.
Oh, because you wore number 33. Keep going.
You were
Yes.
born in Indiana?
Nope.
They
Keep
felt
going.
bad for your terrible basketball skills.
Because you only shot 3s.
Let's go with that.
You're very tall.
Yes, tall. Yes, tall is one of the reasons. Yes, let's go with that. But the second thought I have, J.K. Dobbins. Lord,
Fantasy news.
Lord, let me beat Johnny Redmond.
Wow.
Let me beat Mr. Johnny Redmond by a score of really close to really.
Score up really close.
So I can just
Oh,
rub it into
God.
Johnny's face and be like, "Hey,
You're just saying that because you're doing terrible in my league.
hey,
You
no,
really just
hey, no, I beat Pete. I beat
Barely.
single-handedly. Like I could literally sit my remaining 2 players because he's
You're
done.
still 2-10.
Between fantasy football and between the show, Nick, you have had a vendetta for me these past 2 weeks. This is a season of giving.
And speaking of season of giving, we're going to give you guys a break and get off air. We've had a weird show. We have a lot of fun. Boy, what a weird show.
All right, well, Johnny, take us home.
We'll be back next week, I think, if you guys let us.
Johnny, close out the show. Take us home.
From all of us here on the Sports Take Podcast, he's Joe Dentel. He's Jonathan Donnelly. He's about to lose in fantasy football. I'm about to win because I'm Johnny Redmond. Thank you all for watching. We hope you have a fantastic night, a fantastic week in sports. Keep watching sports for the time being. Have a happy and safe holidays, and make sure you get your Christmas shopping done because yes, Christmas is coming soon. Or your Hanukkah shopping, or your Kwanzaa shopping, whatever you celebrate.
And stay safe. Everyone stay safe, stay healthy.
Of course.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.